Hello, hello, good morning. It is Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. I am Manila Chan, and that right there be Ted Rall, and which is weird. He has to move his camera.
Yeah,
We don't know why. We don't know why.
because
So
because TMI is in Tilto Vision.
I don't anyone that has like videography experience or something, please feel free to chime in and help us explain this phenomenon where Ted's camera's angled one way for deprogram, and then when he pops onto this one, he has to tilt his laptop monitor up,
A lot.
which is so weird
I'd
for
say it's
anybody.
about 30 degrees.
That's very strange. Anyway, you are tuned into the Ted Manila Information Show, TMI Show for short, because we do bring you way too much information. We do it live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So please be sure to hit the like, the follow, and the share button. And of course, subscribe to this channel to help our channel continue to grow. A lot of stuff to get to because I don't know. I don't know how we've been cramming it into an hour, but we've been doing really good since my triumphant return. And can somebody tell me why Robbie's telling me deprogram was spicy?
Deprogram was spicy.
Robbie says it's because StreamYard has a different aspect ratio. Not that that's why it was spicy. That the aspect ratios are different for StreamYard. I mean, he would know better than us. What kind of spice did I miss? Now I want to know because I had to deal with the
I'll
baby.
give you one guess. It's an issue that begins with an I and ends with an N.
Immigration with
Bing,
Robbie
bing,
or
bing,
with
bing.
Jamaro?
Yeah, it was mainly Robbie and Jamal. Like I was in the mix.
Well, let's just say Robbie shares literally the exact immigration policy of somebody else we know from Georgia, the country, not the state. And how to, like how we should build moats and fill them with alligators. Like, forget the wall, build a moat, throw some gators in there. And if they survive the gator moat, then shoot
Okay,
them.
yeah. Can they come in? Robbie's never been clear about that. If they
That's true.
survive
He's from
the
Florida
gator
originally,
swim,
so
if they survive the
yeah.
gator swim, are they allowed to stay?
I would say it's like
'Cause
American Ninja
those would be
Warrior.
like those are people who are obviously wily. We
Yeah.
need some wily people. Not to mention they
You
could try
need
out for the US Olympic team for swimming.
you need like tough ass people if they can wrestle a gator and get through the US Mexico moat.
Yeah,
I would say they win their chance to be in the US.
I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, do some American Gladiator shit,
Yeah,
but
I was
like
gonna
deadly.
say like live cam. Like
Be like the highest
like
watched
naked and
channel on
afraid.
YouTube.
Like Naked and Afraid. The US Mexico border.
I agree.
Teeming with poisonous snakes and
And you know what,
vicious crocodiles
Ted, we
implanted
have a
by the Department
reality
of
star for US president right now. Why he should really capitalize on this moment and do that.
Agreed.
I mean, a lot of clicks. It would be huge, huge. Just saying. Just make it like American Ninja Warrior and like have like gauntlets for people to go through. And if they can survive, you can stay in the country.
True.
All right, with that, let's get to the news. All right, this one, I don't know if you guys ever covered it while I was out with baby, but everyone's Netflixing and chilling, Ted, as the kids used to say,
Yep.
Netflix and chill. But Netflix is watching you.
I mean, okay. I mean, isn't this kind of like a big duh?
You think you're watching Netflix, but Netflix is watching you. All your smart TVs. Who knows what they're seeing? What the Netflix people are seeing as you're watching it. So here's what it is. All right. So for years, Netflix marketed itself as the friendly alternative to big tech. Kind of. No endless social media feeds, no viral outrage algorithms, no ads following you around the internet. Just movies, TV shows, and the occasional true crime documentary that convinces you to never trust your neighbors ever again. But now a lawsuit filed in the state of Texas is challenging that image. Texas Attorney General and soon to be Senator, right? Uh, the AG, Ken Paxton, alleges that Netflix secretly collected extensive data on users, including children, while publicly portraying itself as a privacy friendly platform. According to the lawsuit, Netflix tracked viewing habits, your devices, your household network, your search activity, and other user behavior. I mean, that's could be a lot of things, Ted.
True.
What?
Yeah.
Then allegedly shared or monetized portions of that information through advertising and other data partnerships. The lawsuit also accuses Netflix of using design features intended to keep people watching longer. Well, I mean, no duh. I mean, kind of like how Facebook employed whatever, right? And it just lost its lawsuit in Los Angeles to that girl. Um, but apparently Netflix does similar stuff to make you continue to click on whatever they're showing. So one example is autoplay. Yeah, but I think that one's dumb. One example is autoplay. Everyone does that. Rumble does that. YouTube does that. Spotify does that. Is that really the feature
I
that
think HBO Max does it too, if
yeah,
I'm not
everybody
mistaken.
does it? Is it? I mean,
Yeah, it's a
you
really
can, but the
I don't know if Hulu does it. I think it does. I'm not sure.
Of course it does, but you can set it to do that or not do that. So I don't know if Ken Paxton has a leg to stand on for that one, but autoplay is a feature on any of the apps you use. You can set it to autoplay or not to autoplay. Um, so it goes to the next episode before you've had time to make a healthy decision to go to bed. That's what they're arguing in Texas, is that it defaults to that, I guess. So I don't know. I don't know about that argument. Texas argues these features are designed to increase engagement, collect more data, and maximize revenue. Duh. Netflix strongly denies the allegations. The company says the lawsuit is based on inaccurate information, that it complies with privacy laws, and that its parental controls and privacy settings are among the strongest in the industry. The case highlights a broader question facing nearly every tech company today. When does personalization become surveillance? Most consumers understand that streaming platforms track what they watch in order to make recommendations. What remains up for debate is how much data is being collected, how it's used, and whether users truly understand the bargain that they're making. After all, Netflix's entire business model is built on knowing what you want to watch next. The lawsuit asks a more uncomfortable question: how much else does it know? I think that's my only concern, Ted, because I mean, obviously, it's gonna collect that you're like, if you always like to watch these, uh, I don't know, serial killer documentaries, right? It's gonna recommend more serial killer stuff to you. Like, that's but a lot of people like that because people, especially during COVID, you didn't know what to watch next because people were basically watched Netflix from start to finish, like the entire catalog of everything. There's nothing left to watch. But at this point, the technology has become sophisticated enough that it really has a good idea, similar to like Amazon. Amazon knows what you will be interested in buying, right? And it recommends it to you. Is it so outlandish for a company like Netflix to retain such technology when it's just par for the course for any service provider these days, Ted? I mean, is it wrong that they do that?
I'm not. I don't think. I'd be very curious to read the complaint here because I can't imagine that Ken Paxton has a legal leg to stand on here. Look, here's the thing. I'd be far more interested. We know that, like, one of the big reasons. I mean, it's certainly true that Netflix wants you to keep watching. You can tell
Sure.
that by, for example, they generate a lot of their own content. They make a lot of their own movies, and for example, they make them long, right? Like longer than they need to be. They often
Yeah,
feel
long
like the
movies.
bubble gum's been stretched out. Like The Irishman was, I think, 4 million years long, and
Haven't seen that one.
longer than human evolution. It's still going on, still will go on long after we're all dead. It's like it's just like, but they want you to keep watching all the time. That's true, but so fucking what? Um, I'm far more interested in question. I mean, they are collecting that data for other purposes as well. Like, for example, most notably, they they check out your viewing. They basically study people's viewing preferences, and then they're able to say, well, rom coms involving spies are really popular. Let's make one of those. So
Sure.
so they can rinse, lather, repeat, and do that a lot. It's a lot less like guesswork, like some of the wild and crazy cinema of the American New Wave of the late '60s and early '70s was basically like coke-filled studio execs basically saying, "Hey, let's do this weird
Let's
fucking
try
movie."
this.
I just saw last night a very weird fucking music movie from 2018 called "The Man Who Killed Hitler and the Bigfoot," set in the '70s, from 2018, starring Sam Neill, which is why I watched it, because he's a very good actor. A very weird movie. It's the kind of movie that could have been made in the 1970s, where it's like, what the fuck? It's not a bad movie. I'm really glad I saw it.
Is it like
Can I say
Mulholland Drivey?
can I say it's a good movie? Well, Sam Neill's great. The direction's great, but it's very slow. Anyway, it's like the longest hour and a half I've ever spent. If you had terminal cancer, or like you're sentenced to die tomorrow, like watch this movie and it'll like feel like you're getting an extra 20 years of life. Um, so it was, but anyway, the point is that like they're doing that, but I wonder about more sinister shit, like you're the camera on your TV watches you, right? So
Mhm.
do they, for example, pay attention to see if you are actually watching, or
Right.
when do you get up to take a piss or grab popcorn, right? Like that kind of, that I'm more interested in those privacy violations. I also don't like the resale of information to other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's certainly a given that if you're watching Netflix, that Netflix has your data. But the question is, what do they do with it?
Right.
In my opinion, no one should be able to sell your data without your permission. Period.
I agree. I think
Um,
Ken Paxton's lawsuit, I think on that angle, he's right to address that. Um, is that w we didn't know that Netflix was, like, selling our data to other advertisers or whatever. Because you know all the different tier levels? You're on mute. Ted, you're muted. I can't
a
unmute
lot
there
of
you go.
companies do it, but every American hates it, right? It's like, you want to sell my shit to another, whatever, to Facebook, then ask, get my permission. I will, of course, say no, unless you pay me.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so, yeah.
Right, so, look, these I you can't not have a smart TV because that's all that's on the market, right? But I buy the dumbest of the smart TVs, like, I make sure it doesn't have a camera. It doesn't mean its microphone isn't listening, but 'cause there probably is one. Um, but, like, my laptops, I'm one of these weirdos that buy the little slider things to put the cover on the laptop, or I used to in the old days just
Oh,
put
I,
a
I have that for
piece of
my
tape.
camera. Look.
I put
Oh,
a slide cover. Is it not working? I
that's so
put a
funny. It's
cover
not working.
I put a cover on everything. I don't I make sure the source of power for any audio or video is turned off. Um, but the thing is, this is when we are actually engaging with the app. That's what Ken Paxton is. That's not the crux of it. It's just part of his issue is that
I solved the tilt problem. So
what
look,
was it? Yeah, I see that. Something happened.
so yeah, it was set on. It's a different camera. That's why. So
A
like
different camera.
basically, when I switched over to TMI, it used my computer camera as opposed to my add-on camera. Like the
Oh, you
supplemental
have a
camera. Yeah,
you have a separate camera.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, because it's like higher. You can
That's what
tell
it
it's
is.
higher resolution.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
better. All right,
That's well,
problem
Ted.
solved.
My God. So so if we are interacting with the app, I think there should be more transparency and Netflix should freaking tell us what they're doing with our information outside of recommending another, baking contest show. Like, it's one thing that you're recommending another show to me. It's another thing that you're selling to, that I'm watching a lot of these. Let's say I like home makeover shows. I love those shows. I seek them out on, it's the realtor in me. I love seeing like flipping shows and like DIY shows. I love those shows. I'm not even going to say a guilty pleasure. Like, it's just something I enjoy. Um, and all of the apps that I have, because everything's a la carte now, all of the apps know that I like that, so they recommend them to me. So they can infer that I'm a homeowner, right? By just by the stuff I buy or whatever, and all the apps, because they sell information to each other back and forth, it creates this greater web of who you are as data, right? It knows your age more or less. It knows where you live. It knows what you like, and it knows what you buy. It knows what you buy from Amazon. It knows. So you have this personal profile that has been collected through a web of 50 million apps that you use that all talk to each other and sell your information to each other. And then and then what, Ted? Like, is the whole point of this data collection on us just to sell us shit? That it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you just think about think about like all the bullshit fake texts we get, the fake, the emails, the old fashioned junk mail, the all the everything that you get emails from, most of it bullshit, fake. It's always like basically asking you for
Mhm.
money or shaking you down for money. Like, nobody ever, that's, by the way, part of the reason that the economy is fucked. Everyone wants your money, no one wants to give you any money.
They
So
all want
so
to
how
take
the
it.
fuck are you gonna give? It'd be great if like the government was like contact you all the time, like, hey, we have we stopped paying Israel, so hey, we have a 200 grand for you. And then like you're like, oh yeah, I could buy some stupid shit and finance some dumb Kenyan prince. Sure, I could do that. But like, but the point is everybody's
Nigerian,
constant
Ted. He's Nigerian.
there's an imbalance in like in the supply of cash. Everyone's like looking at you as like a cash cow, but no one ever wants to
Right.
put any milk back into the cow. So that's the problem.
Yeah, that's what I think is really funny. So I don't know if Ken Paxton will prevail. I'm sure he threw a bunch of shit at the wall to see what'll
Yes,
stick.
I'm
And
sure.
I think one or two of them will probably stick. The whole, collecting our data to recommend what's next to us. Like, everybody does that. That's literally the landscape of all social media, tech, and anything that's an app. So I don't think he has a leg to stand on there. I think he might have something to stand on for the children's, like, because you have separate accounts for kids.
Yeah.
So if he can show that it's specific to accounts that were designated children's accounts, if they're collecting data on little kids, that's creepy and weird, and should be illegal. You shouldn't collect data at all of anyone under 18, is my opinion. Like
Look, Ken Paxton, let's face it, he's running right now, right, for governor.
no, for Senate or
Senate.
Congress
This is
or
so he's
representative.
showboating. I appreciate the fact that he's showboating by going after big tech, because we all hate big tech and they're out of control. But it's showboating, and you can't take
Yeah.
this out of the context of an election year where he wants you to not think about the fact that he's a gross scandal monster. Um, and that's largely what this is about, and
Yeah, he's just
whatever.
throwing shit at the wall.
Yeah.
Whatever. One or two of them might stick, and then Netflix will settle out of court and make it go away, and Ken will have a win, and
If he
and
has a
become
win,
senator.
I'd be surprised if it went that well, really.
Really? I think one or two of them might stick, because I think he threw enough things at Netflix at least the kid thing, I think I'd like to see more information about this data collection and exactly what they do with it. And I think then, in discovery, I think that'll be the most interesting part for people like us, Ted, because then we'll find out stuff in discovery. And that's, what will be the stuff that people use to modify their behavior, I hope. Like put tape on their cameras or something.
Right, like my little switch. You know?
Your little yeah, I bought little things to put on it. Anything that has a camera is, like, disabled.
By the
Um,
way, if you go into a tech startup in Silicon Valley, I don't know if this is still true, but this used to be true. Everybody had that tape over their little camera.
I never paid attention. You're probably right, but yeah, I mean, because they know. They're the ones doing it.
Yeah, that's why they send their kids to Montessori school and yeah.
Right. And don't allow them to touch any tech until they're, like, 16.
Yeah. Yeah, they know. I mean, it
Because they
reminds
know.
yeah. Yeah, it's sort of like how, like tobacco executives would beat their children rather than let them smoke.
Alright, let's move on.
When most people think about intelligence in the animal kingdom, they think about dolphins, chimps, elephants, or maybe crows. Bumblebees are not usually on the list, but a new study says maybe they ought to be. Researchers found that bumblebees were able to solve a novel puzzle without being directly taught how to do it. In this experiment, the insects needed to move a small object into position in order to reach a sugary reward. Rather than relying on instinct or trial and error, many of the bees seems to have figured out the solution on their own. This is significant because it suggests that bees are capable of insight-based learning, a trait typically associated with animals that have much larger brains, but does not include politicians. Scientists have long known that bees can navigate complex environments, communicate with one another, remember locations, and learn from experience. This latest research adds to the growing evidence that insect intelligence is more sophisticated than previously believed. It also raises broader questions about how intelligence evolves in nature. A bumblebee's brain contains fewer than 1 million neurons. By comparison, the human brain has about 86 billion. Yet, despite that enormous difference, bees can still perform surprisingly complex tasks that require memory, learning, and flexible behavior. Researchers say this doesn't mean that bees are reasoning the same way we do. However, complex problem solving may emerge in a variety of ways throughout the animal kingdom. That reminds me of like dung beetles can solve problems. I've seen specials about how a dung beetle it gets stuck and it can use a tool to dislodge a dung ball, for example. And a dung beetle, you're like thinking, I mean, it's not shocking about bees being smart because you're like, well, maybe it's because they have that hive mind, right? Like they have that communal intelligence.
Right.
But that's not it. I mean, they individually are super smart. This makes me really scared to like fuck with them because they're obviously so fucking smart. Like they can outwit you, and they seem really smart. But I don't know. I thought it was
Dr.
super
Reese would
interesting.
know.
I'm not fucking with bees from now on.
No, I never did just because, like, I think the caricaturization of them, like, in cartoons and stuff, I always thought they were kinda cute, and then if you looked at them up close, they're kind of fuzzy and they're kinda round and kind of fat. So,
Yep.
I always found them
Round
kinda
is
cute.
always
So
cute. Yeah.
I never wanted to fuck with bees, and then they make delicious honey, and, and then
And
as I
obviously
got older,
pollination. Yeah.
obviously, we need them to pollinate the earth or else we don't have
We
food.
will all die.
So,
Yes.
we'll all die, which was Dr. Reese's whole campaign for, like, many years, like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, he wrote this book called The Incredible Honeybee, and that was especially, um, scary to me because the whole debate about using, neonics, these, like, chemicals that were killing off the honeybees, um, that was a big conversation, like, 10 or 12 years ago, and now we find out I don't don't know what, Ted. They're kind of just short of being sentient, I think. These bees, like, but they're smart, great little critters, and I know it became a hip thing during COVID for people to have like at least like in downtown areas like downtown LA, people were doing like rooftop like honeybee. They were becoming beekeepers with the what do you call those boxes that the I mean,
The
it's a
hive.
hive, but it's like not a hive like you think of
It's
in
a hive.
nature.
Well, it's like a hive box, but I'm sure there's a better
Yeah.
name for it than that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know what the actual name is, but people started doing that, and that was really cool. But now you find out that they're like, it's so weird to think because they're how can they be smart? Like, how is that? Because your whole life, basic elementary, middle school, high school science, bio would tell you that creatures of this size act on instinct and that they can't think. So
But
this
that's not
study,
true.
yeah, this study is saying, wrong.
Well, compared to like, it's interesting, right? Like neurons are kind of like a way that sort of like an analogy to a computer, right? Like how big is the processor? How big is the hard drive? And like so the if we have 86 billion and a bee has 1 million, so the bee has like significantly less than what one 1/100,000th as many as we do, something like that.
Sure.
So the point is that like, oh man, that's a little dude with a little brain compared to ours. But think about primitive computers like the TRS 80 made by Radio Shack, or like the Commodore 64, or the first Apple Classic. Those computers, they still did a lot. You could
Yeah.
program with them. They were, smarter than like not using them,
Or like
right? I mean,
your SAT calculator, your Texas Instruments calculator
right.
still
Yes.
did a lot.
Yeah. So I guess my point is, yeah, I mean, human beings by comparison are much smarter than bees, but I mean, but also nature kind of like gives animals like bees the ability to do what they need to do. Evolution has done that for them. So it's kind of like what they do well because of evolution. I know Robbie says evolution is fake, but
I wish
but
people could do that, Ted.
yeah, no, it's true. I mean, there's a lot of things we can't do for ourselves that we ought to be able to, but we don't. Um, so yeah, it's fascinating. I thought it was a great story. I'm still kind of mad that we didn't do the kitty litter box spy cam, but that's
We
just
have
me.
met our kissing cousin quota for the year.
There's no quota. Kissing
There's
cousins are
yeah,
are
there
on the
is.
go every day.
There is a maximum ceiling of how many kissing cousin stories we do on the TMI show.
To
Maybe
quote
once a
to
year.
quote the punk band The Saints, because we're kissing cousins, and that's what makes it all right, all right, all right.
Yeah. No. Ted wanted to do a kissing cousin story about an expensive poopy box for cats with a camera.
Yeah, yeah. Come on, who doesn't want to know about it? Your curiosity is not
You
piqued.
can tell
I
them.
ask
You
you,
can
are you
okay, you
not
can
piqued?
tell them. You can tell them what it is. Tell them what the story is. I'm just not going to engage. I'm just like
Well,
kissing
basically,
cousin.
no. We don't have time. We're gonna deny everybody. They're gonna have to look it up themselves. And like, sorry, they're. Just remember, it's Manila's fault that you don't get to
It
hear
is
that.
my fault. I refuse to talk about the kissing cousins. Robbie's insisting we have time. I'm just going to say this that it's about $1,000 kitty litter box that has a camera.
Because who doesn't need that? I don't
You have
want to. I
way
don't want
too
to
I
watch
know.
my cat take a dump in real life.
Why? Yeah. Who? Why? Why? A lot. There was a lot. Forget the cousin part. For me, it was more of like the why do you have $1,000 kitty litter box?
Oh, that part I understand completely. You've never had a cat.
No, I have. I've never given
Okay,
him
well, so the thing about these
a
fancy litter
thousand
boxes.
dollar
Well,
kitty
mine
litter
was
box.
28 bucks, so I'm not the right person to talk to you about this. But that said, I know why people have these very expensive. My ex has a super expensive cat litter box. Basically, it's like it's automated, right? Like the cat goes in and a sensor activates when he's done doing his business, and then like a sorter comes in and auto magically pulls the poo into a special bin,
Yeah,
so
but
you
you
don't
can
have to
get that for like
scoop.
$100. $1,000 kitty box with a camera?
Well, it had its usage in this case.
Oh god.
So
Just
basically, it unmasked the kitty poop cam, revealed an affair happening. That's it.
and yeah.
Between
And
kissing cousins, and that's what
you
makes it
cheat with
awesome.
your cousin, gross, and
Oh
knowing
no,
that's your cousin.
I would totally do that.
No!
By the way,
You
well, it's totally legal in most states, and
you
like,
would kiss your cousin? You would have an affair with your cousin?
well, not right now, but I mean, like, sure. I mean, why not?
No! No.
Why
No,
not?
Ted's an only child, so he doesn't know the feeling of grossness of, like, near
True.
kin, like, 'cause Ted's an only child.
Yeah, like, it's
I'm
true.
not an only
Like,
child.
it's true. I had several friends who were pornographers. It's weird. I didn't seek them out. They just sort of dropped in my lap. And they said that the market for incest porn is exclusively single, is only children.
Solo children.
Solo children. Yeah. It's like
Because
basically,
you guys don't know how gross it is. Like,
yeah.
look, I have
Because
one biological brother.
I can't imagine being like 15 and horny, and like
Oh, no.
there's your sibling,
No,
opposite
Ted,
sex,
no.
same house, mom and dad are away,
Yuck!
they're horny.
No.
What's gonna
No, there's
happen?
a Ted, I'm gonna tell you as okay, I have one full biological brother and 2 stepbrothers that I grew up with, and I'm the only girl, and we're all fairly close in age. There Even with my stepbrothers, there's something naturally repulsive about family members. And that should be nature. You're talking about evolution and bees and all that stuff. There is some nature put that instinct in you. You don't know this because you don't have any siblings.
Yeah, it's an instinct that's never been triggered in my case because
Right. For
it has
me,
been non-applicable.
it's just as soon as my brother was born, I was like, "Oh, you're my brother." And then even the
You were
idea,
never like, "Oh, I wanna tap that."
oh god, disgusting. No, like it's so
No, but
repulsive
even
to
in
me.
desperate hours when you
Like,
were 16 years
no,
old?
I would sooner make out with Stephen Miller than my own brother.
Whoa!
I would
Oh,
bang Stephen Miller before even
what?
entertaining the idea of kissing my brother. That's disgusting. It's a reflex that you don't have because you're an only child. I promise you. People with siblings, I mean, there are some
I
freaky
know, I
people out
believe
there.
you. I believe you. Every time I've talked about this to anybody with siblings, they're all like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yes, it is a natural instinct, and nature does that to you so that way
What
you
about
don't make babies that have, like,
what about step
chromosomal
siblings?
issues.
What about step siblings under the same roof?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think it's frowned upon. I don't but
Well,
I also
it's
had
totally
some
legal. I mean, there's not any
repulsion.
problem with it. I mean,
No, I know there's no biological, like, I have 2 stepbrothers,
yeah, no one's gonna be
and
born with 2 heads or anything like that.
no, but they're still I feel a sense of kinship because 'cause they've been my step siblings since we were, like 13, 14 years old, so,
And you're never like, "Oh, I
um,
wanna tap that."
no. So and they'd always come live with us during the summer months, so because they lived with their mom in NorCal, but they would come down in the
Oh,
summer
so
months.
they're not even there all the time, and even so?
No. But even still, it was like,
What about
"Oh,
step siblings under a different roof?
you're my stepbrother."
But what about step
There's
siblings under a different roof?
I frown upon it. Biologically, it's probably okay,
Of course it's okay biologically. Why wouldn't it
but
be?
I just say socially, I still find it a little unacceptable. It's
See, I
not
wonder what would
gross.
I wonder what would happen. I mean, it must happen, right?
It's
It
not gross.
does
I'm sure
happen.
it does. I'm sure it
Um,
does. I mean, it's not gross. I mean, like, if a dad and his biological daughter, ugh, that's incest and
well,
molestation and whatever
and it's rape too.
to the highest degree. However, when you're Woody Allen and Sunyi Previn, it's kind of gross in a way because he raised her as a small baby. And then when she got to adulthood, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna tap that ass I used to diaper." There's something kind of gross about that, don't you think?
Um, I mean, theoretically, I can see. I mean, I totally understand your explanation, Manila. I mean, I mean, I just haven't felt it. I mean, I just imagine like, I mean, look, full
No, I'm
disclosure.
saying Woody Allen. Woody Allen and Soon-Yi
Oh,
Previn.
but they didn't live
He
under. They did not live under the
They
same
didn't?
roof.
No, but he raised
No.
her when she was an infant. He
Mm,
was her adoptive
he didn't do.
father with
He didn't do dick. He like he came over. He would take a
he did dick,
taxi.
that's for
He
sure.
would take a taxi across Central Park from the east side to the west side of Manhattan to go to Mia Farrow's house.
Mia's house.
Yeah, go to Mia's house. He'd hang out. He didn't do shit. He didn't like change diapers. He didn't do anything. I mean,
So
he
you're
didn't.
saying he didn't raise Soon-Yi?
No, not at all. And they're trauma bonded basically because crazy Mia. Basically, I mean, I think it's clear she's a nut. She crazy Mia like basically drove them both insane, and they trauma bonded. That's all.
See, look, I think it would have been there's something gross to me about Soon-Yi with a father figure. It would have been less gross to me if it was Soon-Yi and Ronan Farrow
What?
and her. Well, because Ronan is her adoptive brother.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
they're not biologically related at all.
right. No, they're basic. They're steps.
Yeah. So it would be less gross to me given that relationship is somewhat
I think people
sibling-ish.
just think that Woody Allen is a lech, which is true, and
I
that's
just
what they
find
don't
it
like.
perverse because he was a father figure.
Mm. But it's, the father figure thing is pretty standard. I mean,
It's too electro complex, gross to me. Mm,
good reference.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Um, yeah,
Just no. Just no. That's why bees don't be fucking their brothers.
you don't know that.
We're gonna find that out. I'm gonna
I
ask
don't know.
Dr. Reese.
Yeah, I
I'll
mean, I don't
ask
know.
Dr. Reese because he's a bee expert.
Yeah,
So,
I bet,
all
I
right.
bet, I bet insects are incestuous.
Incestuous insects?
Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna ask that.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, because they're such primitive life forms, really.
Oh.
Yes, many insects are incestuous.
So are we as gross? Are we to be as
Many
gross as
social
insects?
insects, like ants and bees, use unique reproductive systems. Haplodiploidy. There's a word for you. That
I don't
reduce
know
the
that.
risks associated with inbreeding. Some species use complex cloning and genetic shuffling so that their offspring maintain high diversity even when mating with relatives. That's cool.
Well, we don't have that.
Cockroaches don't do it though. The cockroaches are like they recognize relatives and avoid them when seeking a mate.
Wow.
A lot of people say that cockroaches are the most divine of all bugs.
The mighty cockroach, Ted. The mighty cockroach. I'm
That's right.
just saying.
Yeah. Cockroach is a
Just saying.
sophisticated creature.
So, all right, we're gonna move on from
Yeah,
this
we have to.
incest. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah, that's true. Robbie's Abraham married his half sister. That's true.
Still blah. Don't care.
If
Gross.
she's hot, who cares?
That's half. See, Ted still doesn't know because he has no siblings. So, all right. So, here's one about friendship. Signs that a friendship may not be worth saving, like when your friend is into incest,
Or as a cockroach.
or
Or
not
half
as sophisticated as a cockroach.
cockroach.
Just saying, Ted. Just saying. All right.
That,
So
that,
most
that's
French,
you have me there. Okay, that's a good point.
not as sophisticated as the cockroach.
Yeah.
My buddy Ted. Um, Most friendships don't end with a dramatic argument. More often, they fade slowly through disappointment, resentment, and the growing realization that the relationship isn't what it used to be. According to therapists, that's why it's important to distinguish between normal rough patches and deeper problems that may signal a friendship is no longer healthy. One major red flag is a persistent lack of reciprocity. Healthy friendships involve give and take. If one person is always providing support, making
Mhm.
plans, or showing up during difficult times while receiving very little in return, the relationship can become emotionally draining.
I've had that. Have you ever had
I've
that?
had friends.
You have I've mentioned Dan here on the show. Dan was like that. Like, I was always
Oh,
calling.
Dan was an emotional suck.
Yeah, he was. He was a succubus, and I would call him, and to make plans, and he never like not mad or like
Yeah,
trying to hold anything. I was just busy, and I was figuring,
yeah. Just
maybe he can pick up the slack now that I'm busy, and he didn't, and that was the end of our friendship.
I've been there to a girl that I've known since kindergarten, and somewhere about 30, 35, 36 ish. I found I was always the one like maintaining the friendship. Same thing, always giving her advice,
Hmm.
always visiting her,
Yeah,
going to her place,
Manila, you're a
her
good friend.
family.
I can attest to that. So, like, yeah.
So I realized, wait a minute, when I moved to DC, that's when it was. Like I moved to DC, and mind you, she'd went away to Harvard, at when we were growing up, and she, I still maintained the friendship because I didn't think about it at the time. It was instinct because I've known her since kindergarten,
Hmm.
right? It was proximity, right? We grew up together, so I just didn't. Of course, I was going to talk to her. Um, but it was as we became adults, and then I moved away. She went back to Whittier, California, and when I moved away to DC, even when I was in Dubai, I still maintained a friendship with her. But it was when I moved to DC that I realized, wait a minute,
I'm doing everything. Yeah.
right? And she was like going through a divorce and all of this shit, and I was the one constantly. I'm reaching out, and she was happy to offload, but
Yeah.
never, no reciprocity.
Like Stantis, he and we're really even. We both call and check in with each other regularly.
Stantis is great.
Yeah, true.
I love him. So that's one of the things that says this is a red flag. Like, don't emotional, you know, the distance being created is, because of a one-sided take relationship. So that's one sign.
Hmm.
Another warning sign is a pattern of disrespect. Occasional disagreements are normal, like you and Stantis,
True.
or us and Robbie,
True.
totally normal. But therapists say repeated criticism,
Mhm.
manipulation, dishonesty, people they shouldn't lie, or behavior that leaves you feeling diminished should not be ignored. Trust is the foundation of any meaningful relationship, and once it erodes, rebuilding it can be difficult. Yeah, that's especially with lies. Like friends don't lie to each other. Like you
Yeah.
might lie to your spouse, maybe a fib, but you don't lie to your friends, right? Like that's
No, that's true. Yeah.
like, I know it's shitty to say, but, like, you might I don't recommend lying to your spouse, but if you might fib a little bit, right? Because you don't wanna get in trouble, but you don't bullshit your friend, like,
No,
right?
I
Like
mean, otherwise, what's the point of even having them? I mean, that's the thing about friendship is, or at least close friendship, is that it's supposed to be a safe space where you can go
right.
and confide anything, even the fact
Offload.
that you might have the hots for your sibling or whatever. Um,
Oh, and your friend's like, "I'm not judging you, bro, but I'm judging you."
so the thing is, no, I mean, by the way, it's amazing how many times you can get a friendship where it's like person is like, looking down on you. They're snotty. They
Yes.
insult you. I mean, I had a friend who, man, the day
Oh.
my mom died, he like, I literally called him and said, I was at my mom's house, and I'm like, and he calls, and I was like, I had just gotten the call from the nursing home. You got to
Oh.
come over now. It's happening now. Like this is it. She's going to die today. And
Oh.
he said, "What's going on?" And I said, "Oh, well, I just got the call." And he goes, "Oh, it's always about you, isn't it?" I was like, "Well, I dare say today it is." You know?
Uh, kind of is right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Unless your mom's dying today, we can have a pity off. But like, yeah, no. And I was like, that was the end of our friendship. Of course. He didn't apologize. Not that an apology would have probably gone very far with me. but like he didn't. To his credit, he didn't even try because he meant it. You know.
Uh, let's see, where am I? A third concern, friendship, when a friendship consistently harms your well-being. If interactions leave you feeling anxious, exhausted, judged, or emotionally depleted, it may be worth examining whether the relationship is adding value to your life or simply creating stress. These are pretty obvious, like does. Mental
Yeah.
health experts caution that not every friendship needs to last forever. People
True.
grow, priorities change, and relationships sometimes run their natural course. That doesn't mean someone's a bad person or that the friendship was
Yes,
never
it does.
meaningful.
It means they are worse than Hitler and Stalin
That's
combined.
not true. Not true. It simply means that some relationships serve a purpose for a season of your life rather than a lifetime. I subscribe to that. There
Me
are
too.
people that have just kind of faded, and that's okay. I don't
You don't need to
like it's
take the entire journey with one person. Yeah.
no, no. Life is a
Oh, Robbie
long
wants to come on.
fucking hitchhike. Like, oh, and Robbie, we probably need to do an ad. Is there an ad for us that we need to do?
There is, and I will read it while I'm here because I don't want to copy and paste that sucker. So y'all just have to deal with it. But as y'all's friends, I have to know that do I cause y'all anxiety or mental anguish or
No,
anything? Uh,
Never.
no.
that's good. That's good to
You're
know.
only a positive for me, Rob.
Good because I can be kind of spicy sometimes. So let me.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
No, I mean
Yeah.
if I had any, I might. This has not happened, but I could be worried about you. But that's not the same thing, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, but then Ted and I are also like a different kind of resilient type of person. That's a different personality trait also. So between the you know what I mean, between the friends,
Hmm.
that's something to consider also, I think.
There's a certain
But you could
former there's a certain former CIA guy who's caused me some anxiety, but otherwise, not really.
I haven't well, see, all this was happening while I was like out. So I'm like I need to get up to date with this. But anyway, there's personality trait issues, and I think this is applicable to dating as well. All of these, if your partner, your spouse, or whoever, or your friend causes you these things, they're a shit ass person. So don't have them.
Agreed. And I will go ahead and do the ad now before Rumble gives us social anxiety for not doing the ad. Just one
That's
second
true.
here.
We don't want that.
You probably noticed Rumble is growing fast. It's not slowing down. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech. And now there's Rumble Premium, an easy way to upgrade your experience. With Premium, you get ad-free viewing across the platform, no pre-roll, no interruptions, just the content you came for. Plus, Premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind-the-scene drops, and more from your favorite creators. Right now, Rumble is offering $10 off an annual subscription. Just go to rumble.com/premium and use the promo code studio at checkout. That's rumble.com/premium, promo code studio. No ads, more freedom, and the content you actually care about. That's the deal. And speaking of Rumble, Manila, you don't know this. I'm going to let you know now. I'm actually integrating the AI that I'm building onto Rumble Cloud. So you will actually be able to
What does that
access it.
mean?
You'll be able to access it remotely.
What does that mean?
So that means if you ever want to, you'll be able to use Fang to make your own shorts or clips. You'll be able to use her as a research node with the no of the big tech censorship. And instead of having to run it locally on your computer, you just go to a website. I'll send you the link when it's all done, and you can use the TMI AI for all of your
What?
needs.
That's so weird. Wait, is it just for us, or are you going to promote this to have other people
It's
use
just for
Fang
us.
too? Oh, I see.
This is a closed system because she likes to say
Oh, okay.
faggot and she likes to she'll troll people. She has no filter. I'm a very proud father, and
Oh my
but no, because
god. Wow.
what I do is whenever I have been doing research, she's required to bring back a minimum of 5 sources for any claim, a
Oh,
preference of
very good.
10, including links, and she prioritizes foreign media over American media,
Well, see,
and
because
so.
My J school teachers had only told us at least 3.
Well,
Right.
that's because she's an AI, and because she'll be on Rumble, she'll be hosted on Rumble Cloud. It will literally always be on,
Huh.
and
That's so
so
cool. Okay, you have to teach me on how to do all that. So yeah, that like I know Robbie was working on stuff while I was having a human baby. Robbie was creating his AI baby. So
Yeah, that's
there
true.
we are. All right, let's get to the last story. Thanks, Robbie.
According to a new UNICEF report, Dutch kids once again rank as the happiest kids in the developing world, finishing
No,
at or
developed.
developed world. Sorry. Thank you. Finishing at or near the top for mental well being, physical health, and overall life satisfaction. Meanwhile, many wealthy countries, well, including the United States, are we a wealthy country still? I'm not sure we are, continue to struggle with declining child happiness and worsening mental health. So, what are the Dutch getting right? It's not a happiness ministry, it's not mandatory yoga, and it's not unlimited screen time. Dutch kids enjoy unusually strong relationships with their parents, teachers, friends, and classmates. They tend to have more independence. They're allowed to roam around more. They don't have pressure to treat childhood like a resume building exercise. In the Netherlands, children routinely bike to school on their own, spend more time outside, and are often trusted with responsibilities. Dutch parents also work fewer hours than most Europeans, so they spend more time together
Oh,
as families. In comparison, here in the US, kids spend their times bouncing between school, sports, tutoring, activities, screens, and parents who are convinced that their kid's future depends on getting into the right enrichment program. By age 12, some children have schedules that look like middle management. Dutch kids aren't necessarily outperforming everyone academically, they're
mm.
happier. In an age of
Oh.
rising anxiety, depression, loneliness, and screen addiction, that may be more important and more impressive.
Hmm. So, Ted, a lot of this sounds like they live in an analog childhood, much the way you and I remember childhood. You know, riding bicycles in the street,
Yep,
drinking water from a hose,
right?
shit like that. So, what do you know? That makes people happier, Ted. And you know, I gotta say, before I found out I was pregnant last year, I was already beginning to digress from my tiger mom ways uh, on my son because I'm guilty of that. I was becoming one of these, you know, DC suburban moms with that they're, you know, the article is making fun of, overscheduling their kid with all these activities because I gotta make sure he gets into some Ivy League school, you know, like Brown, Harvard, Columbia, if the school still has, you know, any credentials by then. Um, it's all imperative, right? Like, and then I kind of stepped back like 18 months ago. Like after I got sick with, well, I wasn't even really sick. It was just when I came down with the breast cancer, I kind of, things kind of slowed down in my brain. And I was like, I need to slow down life for my kid. What's more important, you know, because it gives you a reality check, right? And I withdrew him from doing 50 different activities. Like, does he need to play every fucking athletic everything? Does he need to play soccer? Does he need to have a tennis coach? He's fucking 5, right? Like, does he need to do all of this? Does he need to go to art school? Does he need to No. I'm I said no, maybe one activity. Like this summer the activity is swimming. That's it. Swim class. That's it. I want him to go play in the backyard and eat some fucking dirt. I want him to swing on a swing in the backyard, right? I want him to climb a tree and fall out. I want him, like, because I realized, you know, when I got the breast cancer diagnosis, I was like, that's all. This is life. This is all it is, right? And everybody, I see all my neighborhood, you know, other parents shuttling their kids. You know, it's an upper middle class area, right? Everyone's shuttling their fucking kids to piano, to this or that or the other, to the point that my son has like no, there are a lot of kids on this street, but we never see them. We never see them.
Hmm. Yeah, you never. It's true. In the suburbs, you don't see a lot of kids biking around. You don't see them. Yeah, they're
And
inside public parks, outside of cities. In real cities like New York City, you see lots of kids in public parks. But
mm,
in because apartments are so small, people really have to get
yeah.
out. But like in the burbs, like where I grew up, the public parks had a lot more kids when I was a kid. If I go home now, it's not like that anymore. No, it's true. You got to be. Yeah, we're not doing it right. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. And this article shows you what the Dutch, although it does highlight that they're not academically the not academically the highest, these Dutch
Well,
kids.
yeah, but I don't know. I mean,
Little cringy for me. Mm.
well, I mean, academics are important, but I mean, it's also not like the Dutch are full retard either. So you know, I mean, they're still
I know.
Europeans, I'm sure.
I know. I'm sure their education, their what we consider their shitty education
Is
system is
better than
probably top
ours.
tier.
Yeah,
Top tier for us here. Like,
totally.
so there's that. So anyone with kids, planning to have kids, look at what the Dutch are doing. Apparently they is doing something right with the clogs and the windmills and the fucking tulips.
And the boy with the dike. And it's
It's
nice that he has that lesbian friend.
yes. Yes. So be around a lot of rising water on your buildings, Ted.
Hmm.
Have tulips, wear wooden shoes, and just go frolic.
Smoke a whole shit ton of weed and hash.
Frolic. Apparently, that's what it is, Ted. Go out and frolic. That's how you raise a happy kid.
We've talked about this before. Holland's the country with some of the safest roads in the world because of, I think I've told you about this book Traffic. They
Oh,
basically got rid of all these stupid signs like that we have. Like here you'll be like State Trooper Bob Jackson Memorial Interchange. Like that's okay, that might be
the
nice for
distractions.
it's nice for the widow, but it's like honestly, it's not helping drivers, right? And like they even get rid of the arrows that like sort of show you that there's going to be a tight turn, or the warning that says like, oh, slow
The
down to
squiggle.
30 miles an hour because it's going to be slow. It's wiggly here. They got rid of all those so that you have to pay attention when you drive because you don't really know what the road ahead is going to do, and so people are just much more awake when they drive.
Attentive. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I only have one Dutch friend, one, like a real Dutchman. But and he moved to the US, and I've mentioned him before because I only have one Dutch friend. And no matter what happens in life to him, he just seems
Rolls with
well
it.
adjusted and happy.
He
He's
just
just,
rolls with it.
yeah, he's just well adjusted and happy. He's like one of the most well adjusted people I've ever met. Love the guy,
I've
Peter.
liked all
Great
the
guy.
Dutch people I've met. So for whatever that's worth, yeah.
Yeah. So I got one Dutch friend, and now
But
the
their
studies are there.
language is very weird because
It's very
if
harsh.
you hear it from like say out of range where you can hear that someone is talking but you don't know what they're saying, it sounds like they're speaking English. So it's very weird. You're like, but then
Yeah.
it's like alt English. It's like, what's going on? I don't understand.
That's true. That's true. All right. So there you are. If you guys want to live, be happy, be like Dutch kids, go look it up. There's studies that show it now, and the Dutch kids keep winning the happiness survey. So go be happy on this Tuesday. It's beautiful out. I'm gonna go be happy and go outside into the
Go.
dirt and grass. In a little later this afternoon, of course, when my kid gets home, because I've got a baby to get to. But
Of
that's it.
course.
So there you
Cool.
are. Adios, amigos. Hope you enjoyed. We'll be back mañana, 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Bye, Manila.
Bye, all.